It's known the world over that soft targets are an al-Qaeda favorite, and this time of year security experts say packed shopping malls, crowded trains could serve as juicy targets for terrorists bent on making an impact during the holidays. Jeff Beatty from TotalSecurity.us says there are some simple things security and shoppers alike can do to stay safer this time of year. He's here to tell us a little bit about this. I was just telling you during the break here that I went down to the White House Christmas tree lighting, the National Christmas Tree Lighting ceremony earlier this week. Security was very, very tight, and I began thinking maybe this is something we ought to give more thought to.
Well, you know, you're right, Brian, but it's interesting. At this time of year, we have several things that we categorize as temporal events, the ceremony you talked about, ceremonies that are around New Year's Eve ceremonies. People worry on New Year's Eve situations, for example, about attacks, because wouldn't that be dramatic? It's hard for terrorists to target a temporal event because they don't see the good guys' security forces deployed until the event is already on. So in New Year's Eve types events, we worry about things that bypass the security, the ground security perimeter, things like chemical attacks that could be released uphill, upwind, and then waft their way in, or aircraft that people could bypass completely the ground defenses, just as they bypassed the World Trade Center's ground defenses and could only get at them by air. So the temporary events are a little bit different. They're a little harder for the terrorists, but those day-to-day things that people go to, the malls, that's where we're concerned about.
So how easy would it be? It's pretty easy, I would imagine, because you can't defend against every possibility.
No, you can't defend against every possibility. On the other hand, we don't need to be naive. We need to believe our eyes. Tragically, we have information that indicates back in the Madrid bombings, there were people wearing ski masks that were seen leaving backpacks on trains and departing without being challenged or someone calling it in. Take the mall scenario here. People should just look at it and go, now, that's unusual because here we have someone bringing packages into the mall instead of taking packages out of the mall. And a mall can do, with a little bit of effort, an awful lot of good towards protecting people that go there.
So keep your eyes open.
Keep your eyes open.
Watch what's going on around you.
Watch what's going on around you. And for people that have the responsibility, like mall owners and others who are hosting events, ratchet up a little bit this time of year, put that good security at the perimeter, and make sure that they're talking to each other. Typical mall, a dozen entrances, takes a dozen security people who are talking to each other, and we have to be sure that we don't suffer at this time of year because we have large groups of people and emotionally charged events, and those make for attractive components for targets.
Seems like that would be a good investment for a mall anyway. You increase your security when there are more people there, and then at the same time you're also increasing the security in case there were some kind of attack.
And mall owners should realize an attack on one mall is an attack on all. People will go to the internet.
That's exactly right. Okay, good point. Thank you much for joining us.